Hello everybody, Mr. Hurt here. Today we're going to be talking about 5th grade's monthly book reports. This video is to help you understand what the monthly book reports are, how your child needs to complete them, and where you can find resources to help your child complete their book reports. To start off, let me talk to you a little bit about what these book reports are. In 5th grade, students will be expected to read a chapter book about each month and complete an oral presentation. Each month, the presentation will look slightly different. For September, students will give a 2 to 3 minute book talk. Presentations will be memorized and timed. So your child needs to memorize their presentation. Please no Google Slides and no note cards to help them. It needs to be truly memorized. Attached is the grading sheet we will be using to evaluate the book talks. While you're looking through this, please note that presentations require at least 3 words that are considered academic language. Examples of academic language are words that are used within the curriculum at school or are particular to the topic of study. So if you're reading a fictional book report, you will use words like setting, characters, protagonist, antagonist, cause and effect, problem, solution. If you're reading a nonfiction story, you will need to use words that are related to that topic. So if you're reading about alligators, you need to talk about teeth and scales and use words that are specific to that topic. In addition to the oral presentation, students will need to bring in 2 items to represent something important from the book to use as visual knowledge. In my sample book report, I read The Hobbit, and the 2 items I brought in were a toy ring to represent the Ring of Power from Gollum and a plastic stone to represent the Arkenstone from the Lonely Mountain. So don't go out and buy or break the bank with props for your presentation. 2 simple things that have a good representation of the story will suffice. You will also need to read a passage from the book. I always recommend using this passage as a hook in the beginning or a fun way to conclude the story. Just an idea there. As you can see, though, from the rubric, students will be graded on the content of their oral presentation as well as their delivery. You can look through the rubric that I'm going to attach to this email, and this will show you what the students will be graded on, and it will help your child plan their book talk. Now, we understand that becoming comfortable with giving good oral presentations will take practice, but they are part of the Common Core standards, and it is a good practice for when they have to give presentations for school or work. So that's just a little bit about what the book reports are and what's kind of required. Now I'm going to give you some more details about this specific book report. So students will need to find a fiction or nonfiction chapter book near their reading level. I don't recommend going too big with this because they do have to read it and make a presentation within a month. And they are allowed to use ebooks. If you do not know what level a book is, I recommend searching it online. There's a wonderful website called Scholastic Book Wizard where you can type in the book and it will help you find its level. You can also use it to find the grade level equivalents, 5th grade, 4th grade, 3rd grade, and try to find a book that your child's interested in and actually wants to read. But the only thing is no graphic novels. It has to be a chapter book, fiction or nonfiction, it's up to them. And ebooks are allowed. So if you have a Kindle or another electronic reader, it's perfect. The students will need to check the book that they find with me by September 14th. Once they check in with me, I'll let them know if it's good or they need to find a different book. Students should read their book and take notes using the attached graphic organizer or another tool. This is the graphic organizer that I provide. It lets them take notes and write down things that are going to be necessary for their book talk. As they're reading, I recommend reading about 20 to 30 minutes a day. Once students have finished reading, they should begin planning and practicing their book talk. Use the attached description and rubric to help guide your book talk. Practice makes perfect, so the more you practice, the more they'll be ready for their actual presentation. But please just remember to include 3 academic words. Please remember to include 2 items that represent something from the book, and remember to read 1 short passage from the book. I recommend, again, using it as a hook or a closing. And finally, book talks are going to be due October 5th. So in summary, students need to read a fictional or nonfiction chapter book at their level. The book check's due September 14th, and the book talk is due October 5th. We will be giving the book talk presentations over Zoom during class time. Now let me show you where you can find some of the resources. On my PowerSchool page, to the left, there is a link that says Monthly Book Reports. If you click that link, it will bring you to this page where I have information and resources on the book reports. The first link here is the details and the rubrics. So if you click on that link, you'll get a little note about what they're going to be doing, and you'll get the presentation rubrics for fictional stories as well as non-fictional stories. So these rubrics can help you greatly when trying to plan your presentation. Next, we have the graphic organizer, which you can print off or copy onto a piece of paper. This will help you plan your presentation as well. And as reference, I've given you a completed graphic organizer done by myself to help guide you when filling out yours, as well as a book talk video of myself completing my book talk on The Hobbit. So feel free to watch that, and that might help guide your presentation as well. Anyways, this was our monthly book talks. Hopefully I answered your questions. If not, you can always send me an email. I look forward to hearing about the books your child reads. Thank you and have a great day.